This keyboard is made for anyone and everyone. When it comes to custom keyboards, there is no one keyboard that matches everyone's preferences. Keyword: preferences. We all like different things, but this keyboard can actually offer just about everything. I'm talking about the Zoom65 V3. Let's get started. Let's cover the basics before we go through the special options provided. The general shape of the keyboard still stays. It still has that unique Zoom65 shape to it. 65% layout, I would say that is the one and only thing that can't really suit everyone's preferences. I know most people do prefer 75%. It's available in many different colors, and the one they sent me is their special Panda edition. Very cyberpunk, very edgy kind of tag to it. Our very first feature, one of my favorite features. Ball catch system, an amazing feature that I believe should be on every single keyboard. It allows us to disassemble and assemble your case without any screws, simply just by pushing or pulling our top case. In terms of quality, it's somewhere in the middle. It's better than the Bridge 75, but I would say the TKD Cycle 7 still provided me with the best ball catch system. And when I mean quality, I mean how smooth it is to use the ball catch system. Let's start building on our beautiful PCB. Triple mode, 1.2mm, 5-pin hot swappable, support for via and screw-in stabilizers. Usually I would complain about the PCB thickness being 1.2mm because normally screw-in stabilizers don't work really well. But the included stabilizers are clip-in stabilizers and they work perfect for the board. Foam, the good old foam standard set. We have the PE, plate and PCB foam. And to finish it off, we have a polycarbonate plate. For switches, I'll be trying out the WS POM Plus switches. And as the name suggests, fully made from POM and they do come pre-lubed. The key point to this keyboard is how this keyboard is mounted. There are many different options which I'll cover in the second half of this video. But for now, to get an idea of how it sounds, I'll be using the silica gel mount. It's basically like a gasket mount. I completed the board with Ivy Ash's keycap set and gotta say, it's looking kinda good. So now that we know how the keyboard sounds, here's where the important part of this keyboard comes. This keyboard can use 7 different mounting styles. 7, yes. We typically get 1 or 2 mounting styles, and sometimes when it's a little bit more, we get 3 mounting styles. But 7 mounting styles in a keyboard, this is the first of its kind. So whoever you are out there watching this video and you have a preference to how you want your keyboard to be mounted, I'm pretty sure this keyboard will have it. Aside from silica gel mount and top mount, I try to showcase the more unique ones because those are, I would say, more interesting. I'll try my best to provide a breakdown of the mounting styles based on how easy they are to install and how different they sound. To start things off, spring mount. I have tried spring mount before, but it isn't exactly very normalized in our current keyboard community. It's extremely simple, a screw and a spring, a total of 8 screws and springs with the PCB resting on each of them. Next up is the O-ring mount. This one is really interesting. O-ring mount is considered pretty old school. I believe this is supposed to replicate the gummy O-ring mount with 8 O-rings being used on the PCB and the standoff clips that kind of holds it in place. Leaf spring mount. This is also pretty old school. I don't know of many keyboards nowadays that use this, probably due to the typical gasket mount being more popular, especially if you're looking for a flexible mounting style. But if you don't know about it, it's basically just a leaf spring and the PCB rest on it. Last but not least, the most interesting one of it all, mounted using magnets and the magnets repelling each other. It's honestly quite a hassle to install the mount for this. You first start off by screwing in a magnet into the bottom case and followed with a second magnet installed on the plate, which will then be held in place with a nut, but the nut is really small and it takes quite a while to install every single one of them, but the experience it provides is definitely really unique and interesting. So here's a compilation of the different mounting styles and how it sounds. I don't believe there's a best mounting option for this specific keyboard. It all comes down to preference. As for my own preference, I do like the O-ring mount. The O-ring mount is pretty balanced in terms of flex and sound. It's just nice in the middle, just really balanced for both flex and sound. As for the rest of the mounts, the spring and the maglev mount definitely makes the keyboard a lot quieter than it usually is, while the silica gel mount and the top mount makes the keyboard a little louder. But if you're looking for more flex, the leaf spring mount actually does provide the most amount of flex. And to follow it up, it would be the maglev and the spring mount. The O-ring mount is still somewhere in the center. But in terms of flex, the leaf spring, maglev and spring mount, they do provide a good amount of flex. And for the least amount of flex, I believe you can tell the silica gel mount and the top mount will give you the least amount of flex. At the end of the day, the idea behind this entire keyboard and the main agenda behind this keyboard is building it however you want to your own preferences. More foam or less foam, O-ring mount or any of the 6 other mounts, and experimenting with the board is the main point here. To top it all off, alongside the ball catch system to help you disassemble and assemble the board quickly, the daughter board is also magnetic. It literally just snaps in place every single time. It might not be much, but it is honestly life-changing for content creators who build and rebuild keyboards like constantly multiple times every single day. Something I forgot to mention is that the modules on the top right hand corner can be changed out. They have a whole bunch of different modules. They have a screen, a key, a badge, a diffuser, some kind of RGB. They have all kinds of different modules. This keyboard is literally made to suit anyone's preferences. So the keyboard made for everyone. It starts at $179 and I have it linked down below if you're interested to check it out. Let me know what you guys think of the keyboard down below, comment your thoughts down below, like the video if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you enjoy my content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!